Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So when I was in middle school, I was playing football in Texas. And in Texas, football is big. In fact, everything's big in Texas. It was a big deal. And we had a great coach. And I remember he was just a big, tough dude. And he'd played collegiate. Some of them had even played in the NFL. And I just remember this coach, he had this gigantic ring. And I can't remember if it was an NFL ring or a college ring, but he just had this huge ring. And I remember the one thing I will always remember about this man, he had the big old southern drawl. And he always told us, keep your mind on your business, right? And so if we were distracted, if we were messing around, we weren't thinking about football, we weren't thinking about the plays, we weren't thinking about practice, we weren't thinking about the game. If we were goofing off, he was just keep your mind on your business. And he sometimes, if you had your helmet on, he'd thump your helmet with his ring, and it would just rattle your ears. And then every once in a while, if you're really messing off, he'd thump you right in your sternum. Pop! Keep your mind on your business. And I was it just drilled into my head as like a little 13, 14-year-old kid. Keep your mind on your business. Keep your mind on your business. And that has been such a fantastic life lesson for me. Through everything we're doing, keep your mind on your business. In other words, and not necessarily your business as you're growing a business or you run a business or own a business, but keep your mind focused on what you need to focus on. Think about the things you need to think about. And it's so relevant right now because our minds are so unbelievably distracted, and we are getting a literal deluge of a flood of news and information and just constant worry and fear and drama and hyping stuff up. And we're just literally overwhelmed and overrun with information and sensory overload and emotional overload. And I've been speaking to a lot of you in the coaching, people are really going through these challenges and these emotional roller coasters of fear and worry and concern and hope and disappointment, and things are being canceled, more things are being canceled. And now here in the United States, President Trump, which we knew this was going to happen. I talked about it on my podcast weeks ago. We knew it would be extended a lot further than a lot of people were thinking. And so now he says, he made this statement of to the end of April and maybe to the 1st of June, right? So it could be like this or like this. We know we're going into this, right? And so we've got to keep our minds on our business. Well, what is our business? Well, it may be your actual literal business, and you got to keep focused on that and now get really creative and start thinking of ways you can hustle, that you can serve better, because our success is going to be directly tied to our service and how maybe you're going to have to iterate. Maybe you're going to have to change, adjust, be adaptable. Some of you might end up in a totally different business or a different kind of service, or you got to get really creative here. So I spent a lot of time in your mind palace today and this week thinking through how to get that going. A lot of us have been neglecting our health. We've been neglecting our routines and rituals and schedules. We've been neglecting our bodies. We haven't been exercising or eating well. We've been just consuming endless amounts of news and Netflix. And it's throwing us off. And so our families are off and our minds are off. We're not optimized. We're not feeling fantastic. And so we're getting doubtful and fearful and anxious and depressed and discouraged. And that's going to be the end result unless we can learn to keep our mind on our business. So I want to challenge you to do that. Start today. Start each morning by reading great things, literally rewriting your big goals. Write those down. Do affirmations and declarations. Things like, the things I've been doing for a long time with our family is I'm healthy and strong. I'm awake, energized, and alive. Right? I have my whole philosophy journal, which is just basically a lot of affirmations and declarations and beliefs. It's the constitution for my life. I did 2 full episodes in my podcast about that. Go listen to those. It's the Extraordinary Family Life podcast. But we've got to fortify our minds and strengthen our minds and read great books in the morning and throughout the day. right? We have to be able to do this and just eliminate the negativity, eliminate the drama, really lower the consumption of news. Most of it's hyped up and negative. Just really dial that back in. If you're gonna stay in touch with it, maybe give yourself a 20-minute limit at a specific time, set an alarm, get in, review it, get out. Spend time praying, spend time meditating, spend time focusing on the things you need to focus on. Your relationships, your mental and emotional health, your physical health. I mean, cook good meals together, like go on walks, get out in nature. We've got to do things that keep our minds on our business. Otherwise, we are going to be distracted and worried and fearful and doubtful and discouraged and then depressed and anxious. Like it's going to be a mess. And there's going to be a lot of extra strain on our lives that's unnecessary. So we're in this for a while, you guys. It's going to be longer than most of us think. And so it is absolutely critical that you keep your mind on your business, right? Stay focused on the things that matter most and learn how to calm your thoughts and emotions and learn how to both control and direct your thinking, and we'll start creating the results we want, even inside circumstances we don't want. Keep your mind on your business. It'll make a huge difference. Remember, every day, you guys, we're training for greatness here. And can I just share this? Let me just offer here, I want to help. I've been working on mindset stuff and personal development, voraciously studying this for over 24 years. And I've been through some crazy hard times personally, and even as a family, in our travels around the world. And things get crazy sometimes when you're out traveling internationally, and things don't always work out, and there's a lot of failure and upset and disappointment. And we've learned how to work through these things, and I want to help. This is like totally sincere here. I want to help. I want to share the resources. So ask questions. Shoot me a message. Get on the websites. We have extraordinaryfamilylife.com, gregdenning.com. We have the Extraordinary Family Life podcast. Rachel and I are going live every week to do live trainings. Our last one, we went for 2.5 hours because so many great parents had all these questions and concerns. We just kept going, right? And we're just going to keep doing that every week because we want to help. And there's a lot of stress and a lot of turmoil and struggle and strain on both family life and businesses. So let us know how we can help and support and help you get through these tough times. We can all do this together. Right? None of us is as smart as all of us. And together we can think through this, we can come up with solutions and strategies, and it's really going to come down to being more strategic and systematic in just plugging through these things, hitting it, right? And it all starts with our mind. So keep your mind on your business. Reach upward.